wanted to make a video, and the title of this video is um, what to do when someone tries to stop you from your destiny and God. Um, so I woke up this morning and I had a situation come up that was rather urgent and needed to be addressed. And so I really just didn't have a lot of time, just rolled out the bed, threw on my jeans and a t-shirt and ran out the door to address the situation. And so I wasn't planning on making a video or anything like that, so just, you know, just excuse if I look a mess or whatever. But like I said, I just wanted to make this video before I forgot what it is that I had on my mind that I wanted to really share in my heart. And so, like I said, I pretty much woke up this morning and had a situation where, my son had, uh, he has something coming up at the end of the month. He's going away to a boot camp, and he needed to have these forms filled out and signed by his doctor to give him clearance in order to attend this boot camp at the end of the month for a week. And so, like today, was my day off, and it's been a pretty busy week. We've had a lot going on, and so really it was just like rather urgent and important to have this taken care of today, because I work tomorrow and Friday, and he has to have these papers in by Friday. And so, all that said, I woke up this morning and I called the doctor's office, and I spoke with the secretary there, who I'm very familiar with. Just to give you background, well, my son is 17, so he's pretty much been going there since he's been a baby, and so 17 years, it's a long time. So I'm very familiar with the secretary there, and my experience with her and dealing with her, over the past 17 years. And I just have kind of always felt, I don't know what it is, but I've just always felt intuitively and instinctively that there's just always been like this resistance with her. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I don't know if it's passive aggressive. I can't put my finger on it necessarily. I don't really care to, dissect it that much. But just like I said, just to give you a background of, my dealings with her, has just been like a real push and pull. So when I called there today and I said, that I have these forms that I need to have dropped off to have the doctor sign, she said, well, they were open until 12. And I asked, well, will I be able to have them, the doctor sign them today? And she said, no, that the nurse that is there, that signs off on the papers, rather, she's not there today. So I said, okay, well, do you think I will be able to pick them up tomorrow? Because he needs them turned in by Friday. And she said, once again, there's no guarantee. So, I just kind of was feeling like that wasn't the end of the story, the full, I just kind of, like I said, just in my experience in dealing with her and being familiar with, just dealing with her, I just said, I need to have these. I didn't say I needed to have the forms filled, but I knew I need to have these forms filled, and I didn't get the feeling like that was the full story, and I just kind of felt like there's more that could be done. So, just to back up a little bit, there was a situation that happened over the weekend, and what had happened was my son had went to a trampoline park with his friends over the weekend, and kind of hurt his neck. He was feeling like a little bit sore and achy in his neck area, and just, I said, well, if you still feel it in a couple days, we'll take you to the doctor. So in that moment, after I hung up the phone with the secretary, it dawned on me, and it came to, my mind. I remembered that he was still feeling some achiness from his, hurting his neck at the trampoline park. So I called the doctor's office back and spoke with the secretary, and I said I would like to bring my son in, and I explained to her what had happened, and she had asked, does he have a fever? Is he sick? And I explained to her what had happened, and she said, okay, now be here by this certain time. Now, mind you, it's my day off. You know, my son said he was given these papers, this week, which I don't know. Turns out it wasn't, I don't think this week, it was last week. But, so I'm kind of under the gun here. He needs to, like, get this done. He needs to have this done. So, in the moment, I had remembered that he needed to see the doctor anyway. So, it's my day off. I got to run to the school. I have to be there by a certain time. There's no guarantee that the doctor is going to sign off on these papers, especially, whatever, if we don't make it there on time. Went to go pick him up at the school. It took a while for him to come down, and, there were a couple of times, I have to say, within an hour, at least 3 times within an hour, where I had just really wanted to give up, and I was just very frustrated, and you know just like, this is not going to work, this is not going to, whatever, I'm just wasting my time on my day off. What's the point? What's the use, right? So, but I pushed through, and to say all that, went to the doctor, got there late, got in to see him, he signed off on the papers, he's all clear to go. What a relief, right? And then I went to go up to the desk at the end, and I needed to have someone to give the doctor's stamp on the papers, just to, just solidify it, just to finish it off. So the secretary who was there, which is the secretary I spoke with on the phone, she had said, she looked at me and she had said, well, and there was just like this like sinister smirk on her face, and she just said, so you got your way, didn't you? Just like that, right? And I was like kind of taken back at first. I was like, wow, ooh, that was unexpected. And I just said to her, I said, it wasn't about getting my way. It was about taking care of what needed to be done. And mind you, like I said, right, with the history I have with this woman, there have been times where I have just felt this resistance and this push and pull in dealing with her. And I've never gotten disrespectful, always stayed calm and collected, never came out the side of my face or character, saying something to her, and so this time was no different, thank God, right? And as I thought about it more, I realized that there was an important lesson that needed to be learned, in this interaction, in this experience that happened today. And on the ride home, I had this long conversation with my son, and I said to him, I said, like, there will be situations and there will be people, more importantly, there will be people that will try to keep you from your destiny and God. And I said, and I explained to him with this woman today, at the doctor's office. For whatever reason, whatever was going on with her, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I choose not to dissect it. It's, what was going on with her, but this has always been my experience. And more what was going on with me, throughout this whole thing was, with the frustration and, this is a waste of time. Why even bother? It might not even happen. These papers might not get signed. This is my only day off. I'm running around, this might not even happen. What's the point? What's the use? But I just pushed through all that, knowing that, I needed to leave room for God, because God has the final word. God has the final say. Even in spite of man and everything I was feeling inside myself, I knew that, but God, right? So, and I was explaining to him, and I says, you're going to have to push through. There's going to be people, and for whatever reason, like I said, whatever was going on with this woman, she might not even know what's going on with her. She might not even be self-aware or in tune what's going on with her. She might just be a tool. She might just be a tool that the enemy is using to try to stop you from getting to your destiny. Not her specifically, but in general. This was this one specific incident, but I'm talking about in general. There will be situations, I was saying to my son, and people that will try to get into your way to stop you from doing what you know in your heart that God has planned for you, that will try to stop your destiny and keep you from fulfilling the plan and the purpose that God has for you, so that you don't get to your future in God and get to your future, right? And I said, if I would have allowed that woman, to stop me, or or my own feelings, my own thoughts, my own attitudes, my own what was going on with me, to stop me, to say, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get it done on time. We're not going to get there on time. Nobody's there to sign off on these papers. It's my only day off. I look a mess. I'm tired. I don't want to do this, right? I don't want to go. But to know that, I believed that God has the final say. God can do something about this. And I pushed through, and I pushed through in faith. And I just was thinking of that, and just the valuable lesson that was in that whole experience today about, just having that woman, like I said, at the end, there was just something when she looked at me, with that sinister look on her face, and she smirked at me with that evil smirk. And she just said, so, you got your way, didn't you, after all? Or something she said. I don't even know. You got your way after all, or whatever, and it wasn't even about that. That was her mess. That was what was going on with her. But it was really a learning lesson for me to see and to share with my son, and just to share, this video as well. I just said I need to share this before I forget, just for my own self. I don't know, but just to remind myself, not to allow situations, but more than situations, even people. And just to finish this off, just to say, I said to my son, I said, there will be people that will try to keep you, and stop you from getting to your destiny in God, and discourage you, but you have to push through anyway. And I said, sometimes those people will be even your own family member and friends. That's why you have to be very grounded in who you are in Christ, and you have to be grounded and rooted and grounded in your foundation of God's word, and to know, because you know what? At the end of the month, God willing, he's going to be at that boot camp for a week. And nothing and no one will be able to stop him, because that is God's will for his life. So I just wanted to share that. I don't know if it helps anyone. I know it helps me. I know that God really taught me and my son, a very valuable, very very valuable lesson today in that whole experience. So, anyway, with that said, have a great day. Bye.